Now, Manchester United and Liverpool, the two most successful clubs in English football with 20 league titles each. Reigning Premier League champions Liverpool have certainly had the edge in recent years, but could that change this season? Harry Maguire scored the winning goal at Anfield last month in what was a statement win for Ruben Amorim's side. And look at this, 11 games into the season, the two clubs have an identical points total and even the same goal difference. United ahead, having scored one more goal, so very even. Right, Jamie O'Hara's with us until midday on FC. Now, we'd never have suggested this a few weeks ago, would we? Especially just before the last international break, two international breaks ago. But can Manchester United finish above Liverpool?
I mean, look, it's possible, but I don't see it happening. I think Man United have picked up. There's no getting away from it that they've looked better with, and Mbeumo and Cunha obviously in the team now consistently performing. They've looked like a better side. But if we're going to talk about over the course of the season, Liverpool will figure things out. I mean, you can't have the squad of players that they've got and it not find their feet. They've been disappointing, and of course they would have expected to be better. I think Arne Slot's not really figured out what his best 11 is with the new signings. But over the course of the season, surely Liverpool is still going to be above Manchester United. I'm still not convinced with Man United. They've done all right, but they're not like all of a sudden blowing up trees. We're going, wow, what a side this is. They're doing okay. They're winning some football matches, but Liverpool, for me, will still be above them for sure.
Well, Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, scan the QR code here or visit the Sky Sports app for more details. We're joined by 10 fans from across the Premier League. It's a welcome to Charlie Patrick, who's come in for Nina for this second hour. But of course, we have to go to James McDonald and Abigail Rudkin first because we're talking Manchester United and Liverpool. James, do you think you will finish above Liverpool?
Well, if there's no mistake, Liverpool are in a better place as a club than Man United. They were at the start of the season, they even were 5 games ago. But so for you to sit on national TV and ask me that with a straight face shows how far United have come even in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it was only a month or so ago he was saying get Sean Dyche in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Roy Keane.
Yeah, exactly. So we are making improvements, and if Liverpool keep going the way they're going, who's to say? But I think to Jamie's point, Liverpool, you can just see them turning the switch and it clicking. But we're just concentrating on ourselves, I think. But yeah, we'll definitely win.
How much would it hurt, Abigail, if you didn't finish above them? And can you see it happening?
I can't believe we're having these conversations. If you'd have told me at the end of last season when we were lifting that Premier League that we'd be having this conversation, I'd have thought Man United were like all the way at the top of the league with us. But I can't believe that we're in this situation. I can't see a world where we finish below Man United. I can't see players like Florian Wirtz and Salah not finally getting a grip, basically, finally clicking into place. There's got to be something in the second half of the season where Alexander Isak steps up. I mean, Ekitike looks all right, but he's sort of had a bit of a dip recently. Something's got to give. There's no way these players can't build to something. I mean, we've still got Frimpong to come back from injury. Kirkes hasn't looked great, but we've got to do better than this. And that's no dig to Man United, but they've been so low in the league. I can't see a world where we don't finish third in my heart, but I don't know if it carries on like this. I don't know what to expect.
Obviously, yeah.
January's a big transfer window for Man United. If they can bring in some decent signings, it looks like they've sorted out that front three, which is a dangerous front three. Do they need more legs in midfield? Elliot Anderson's been talked about, Wharton. If you can get a player in there who can...
But Baleba, wasn't it, in the summer? Carlos Baleba as well, wasn't it?
Baleba, I mean, I don't know what's happened with him.
Yeah, I think because he's thrown his toys out the pram a little bit, he's might have muddied the waters for any possible transfer there. But Anderson and Wharton are the ones we're definitely strongly linked with. Yeah. And I think if we can get one of them in, who knows where we end up finishing the season.
They're not... People think Man United are a million miles away from it. I don't think they're a million miles away from it. They've got the mentality's needed to shift. And that's been a big thing with them, is the mentality of what it means to play for Man United and, the process of being a Manchester United player. But in terms of where, with the players that they've got, I don't think they're a million miles away from being closer to the top four.
I think it's just a bit of depth that we need as a club going forward. I think this, like I said, I've always been saying this season, summer, was phase one of recruitment. get a new front line, try and get a new keeper in, and then obviously the next transfer window, get centre mid and get a bit more depth in the team, and then we can potentially kind of look to be having these realistic conversations about us finishing above Liverpool.
Charlie Patrick, you are a neutral here with first on Liverpool and Manchester United. What do you think as a Chelsea fan? Can you see as a neutral Manchester United finishing above Liverpool despite the brilliant start that Liverpool had and the poor start that Manchester United had?
Look, it's definitely possible, but I'd still be very surprised over the course of a season. You look at how much more scope Liverpool have got to improve as a team. You get Isak firing, get Wirtz firing, Arne Slot finds his preferred formation, he sorts the tactics out. That Liverpool team have got a much higher ceiling to improve to, whereas I look at United right now, and I think, look, they've definitely improved the front lines better. I worry about them in midfield. I'm not sure how good they are defensively. I don't see United getting an awful lot better than they are right now, whereas Liverpool, once they get themselves together, the scope for them to improve is far, far greater. So I'd be very surprised if United finished above them.
Well, Aston Buckley from Manchester City, you think you're going to win the league, so you probably don't even care.
No, it's nice to see United down in the bottom of the table if it stays that way, if it can go that way. I mean, when City played United earlier on, and we smashed them, at the time people were saying, oh, is it good for City, that you've done really well and you've beat a team. I didn't really count it as really judging City as a team, because at the time I thought United are even the top side. I think they lost to Grimsby maybe two weeks before, so it wasn't really...
Good team, Grimsby, let's have it.
Good team.
Very good team that day.
Well organised, hard to beat.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think United. I think, like you said, Liverpool have got such a more higher ceiling with the players they've got. United are playing probably at their best now. And we know that doesn't always last for United, does it?
Listen, for United, we're definitely not just going to continue this run to the end of the season. I'm fully expecting we'll win 4 games, 3 games, we'll dip, we'll lose a couple, we'll be on here saying Sean Dyche in, and then next week we'll win 2 games.
I think Dyche was Charlie Austin, wasn't it?
Dyche was Austin, yeah. I said Roy, get Roy in.
Yeah, you said Roy Keane.
Yeah, I'll get Roy in there.
Charlie
Hasn't he
said
come out,
Sean
Ruben Amorim, and said that he wants to get some of the old legends back into the dressing room?
Would you be up for
about
that? We had a big conversation about that when you said Roy Keane, actually, and we've got loads of people, Manchester United fans, giving their views on that. Would you be, for that? I was going to say keen for that, but that would be an accidental bad pun. Would you be for that?
No, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think Roy Keane would be the right person. I think potentially Carrick might be a better fit for coming in. I think Roy Keane would just make people cry.
No, I don't know.
He did a brilliant job at Sunderland, Steve. We're big fans of him, aren't we? But Abigail, with this, I mean, in your mind, I know that sometimes football fans can be a little bit pessimistic because we've all been burnt in the past, haven't we? But realistically, when you sit down, this Liverpool squad is brilliant. You've got a manager who's won the league in his first season. Surely you are going to get better and better this season. Surely this is your trough ahead of a peak.
I hope so. I mean, it just feels as though, I'm not saying that Slot doesn't know what he's doing, but it feels as though he's tried to cram too many new players into the team at once. If you think back to the very start of the season, I know we were winning games by, last minute winners, which was getting on everyone's nerves, but it just felt like he was trying to fit certain players in, like Frimpong and Kirk straight away. He's trying to get Wirtz into that team. And we're performing much better when we just go back to basics, when we have Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister in that midfield, Robertson stepped up. It looks more comfortable. I'm not saying they're performing well. I mean, Szoboszlai is the only one that I think's actually performed well consistently. The rest of them have had massive drop-offs, but I can't see a world where it doesn't click back in. I can't see a world where Mo Salah doesn't finally decide that it's time for him to go back to his best. It's hard as a Liverpool fan after what you've witnessed over the last year to understand that we're 8th and know what's gone wrong. But maybe it is just too many players. But then there's me. I want to get to January and I want to go and get Semenyo. I want to go and get Guehi, which just sounds ridiculous, and it sounds like it's defeating the purpose of what I've just said about having too many players in. I think we just need to go back to basics, to be honest, and try and maybe just go back to as much of the team from last season as we can. And win games of football.
You won the league, of course. Right, we've got another question for our fans to answer. We'll give them a couple of minutes to think about it. Now,